The moment your voice unlocks is oftentimes a very deeply emotional moment. Hello, my name is Michelle, and I am a classically trained multi-genre vocalist. I have created this method that I like to call the vocal organization method for expression. It is a method that I use for us to achieve what I call vocal authorship. The reason that it can be such a deeply emotional experience is, in a lot of ways, the fact that identity, right? We thought we weren't capable of something like this, right? When my students work with me, they usually come with me over efforting in all of the wrong ways. And they know that there's so much more to express, but they just have not been able to. There's something that they aren't satisfied with about that experience. And as I've touched in other videos, when we are trying to listen to ourselves while we are singing, we are actually getting out of the moment. This is why I talked about relying on your felt sensations, because the felt sensations is being in the moment. Relying on the felt sensation is being in the moment. Because when we're up here and we're like listening for yourself and you're like, okay, here comes this, and now I have to do this, and now I have to, you're in your head. You're not embodied. You are not grounded. When you're in your body, you are grounded. When you're up here, we're not grounded. Okay? And that's one of the ways that we silence that internal monologue. My work is so heavily focused on felt sensations that to be able to sing in a way where you're no longer up here and there's not all of this stuff going on, and you can just be in the moment and like express exactly the way you want to express without efforting the way that you thought you had to effort, that can be very overwhelming. One of the most beautiful things about voice work, whether that is speaking, being someone who's a public speaker, or being a singer, is that all of the tools that improve your voice can be translated into all areas of your life. A lot of the times, if we are noticing something that we don't like into our singing or public speaking, it's because this is a pattern that we are repeating outside of our voice practice, and we are bringing it here. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything, and the voice is the one thing that like just lays it out there for you. So a lot of the times I prescribe to my clients to take everything that we're working on here in our practice and apply it to as many different situations as we possibly can. If the client that comes to me is in their phase one, where we're barely working on awareness, I invite them to bring that mindset into everything they're doing, whether they're reaching up for something in their cupboard, whether they're walking, whether they are taking a shower and how they lift their hands to scrub their head, all of these things. I invite you to bring that awareness into that. If you're somebody who has already started creating that awareness, then we lean into their breath. Practices like yoga and working out, the reason they are so centered around the breath is because this is the core of it all. Your breath is directly tied to your core, and we always want to have a strong core. And so for your voice, we need a strong core as well. That core, we could look at it through the chakras as well, comes back to our solar plexus. That is our oomph, our ability to stay grounded through it all. The breath is really what grounds you here. When that person comes here, that's mostly in that phase two, I invite them to deepen their relationship to their breath in everything that they do. Same thing when you're reaching up for that counter. What is the breath cycle that you use when you're getting that thing off the counter? That way, when we bring it into our singing, we are hyper aware of our breath. A lot of the times, this is why this is step 2 and not step 4, because without our breath and without a very, very, very precise felt association with our breath and how it works, we lose all foundations. And you'd be surprised how many of you who are singing don't even take your breath into consideration. It's not until like we print out the lyric sheet and we're embarking in breaths that we're like, oh, I don't even know where I would breathe. And that's what that is for right there. When we are integrating the breathing, we are deepening our sensations into our body. And there is just something so beautiful about realizing that we don't have to be like this all the time. And a lot of times it's so unconscious. So when we are working with our breath, when we are deepening our breath, what we're doing here is we're regulating ourselves. We are regulating ourselves. And this is such an important aspect of all of this, because we're taking ourselves from the identity of an effortful person, from someone who is constantly efforting, into someone who is organized. Organization. And think about it, when we are efforting, we are in a struggle. We are struggling. We often feel like a little bit aimless, tired, all of that. Now imagine when you have been used to this, and then all of a sudden you're producing this incredibly resonant, vibrant sound, and it feels like nothing. It feels literally like nothing. That is such an emotional experience. And again, this is something that can be translated into your day-to-day life. When you are living a life where everything feels hard and difficult and heavy, and like you cannot experience what you know you could experience, and then all of a sudden you do, there's that emotional realization of like, oh, this can be easy. There has to be a level of trust. And so that's where our breath organization is so important, and really, no matter what, tapping into the breath. That is what helped me give birth. That is what's helped me in some of the most difficult moments of my life, is grounding into the breath and then moving from a place where you have a organized, stable breath. Okay, this is my concept of vocal authorship. My definition of vocal authorship is when you can stay grounded under high stress situations, and you can be intentional with the way that you move. So that's why singing is not just something you do in your practice. I mean, you could, but why not? Why not take this beautiful practice that you have and apply it to all areas of your life? That's why I love singing and voice work so much, because it is a direct reflection of how you live your life, and it gives you the tools on how to make all of areas of your life seamless. Okay, I know it's an emotional experience. If you find yourself crying, that's okay. If this is something that you would like to explore within your own voice, whether you are a public speaker, podcaster, singer, anything, and you're at a place where you're either getting really tired, or you feel cringe about your voice, or any kind of issues that you have around your voice, linked below, I have some sessions that you could apply to work with me for. And yeah, that's all I have for you. Okay.